Hey there, it's the ABCs of Preschool podcast, the place to be for busy moms, teachers, and childcare providers. I'm your host, Miss Amber, an early childhood expert with nearly 3 decades of experience and a proud mama too. I know you're running around with those little ones, so let's jump right in. Hello, everybody. This is Miss Amber with the ABCs of Preschool. Welcome. This topic may get a little touchy today. And I'm going to say it already. I'm sorry if I offend anybody. My daughter came to me this week. We were having a really great conversation, and I don't know how it started, but the topic of technology came up and how her generation, these older kids in high school, young adults, are struggling deeply with anxiety, depression, and are just anxious. And her thought was it's from social media, it's the phones, and that basically she was just really frank of how her and a lot of her friends and this group of young people entering adulthood are really struggling with anxiety and depression. And it's a really big problem. And I know this is called the ABCs of Preschool, a podcast, but I wanted to talk about it because we have to start when your kids are little. The conversation of technology starts when they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, have you even thought about it? What are your family rules regarding technology? And, this is the first set of young adults, teenagers, young adults who have had phones most of their life. I'm going to date myself. When we're younger, we think about our birthdays and we count down. We're like, I'm 10 and a half. I'm 10 and 8 months. And all you can think about is your birthday and the next party you're going to have. And then the older we get, we think, wait, how old am I again? Let me think about this. Like, what birthday am I having this year? So I had to think about it a second, but I am 46. And I remember, obviously, I did not grow up with the internet. I did not grow up with cell phones, and especially a cell phone that had the whole entire world and knowledge in the palm of my hand. I remember my senior, it would have been my freshman year of college, if I was really at college, AOL and the dial-up internet. And I remember getting my first iPhone, I think I had my second son already. So this was trial and error as a parent. And I think this is why I wanted to do this podcast, because we didn't realize at the time, as we were all navigating our way through fast technology, the internet, and the iPhone, we all had no idea the effects of it. It was just all so exciting, to be able to have your email and text, and it just opened up a giant, amazing world. All of our news, if you really think about it, our news and everything happens so fast. Whereas 25 years ago, we wouldn't know a lot of things so quickly like we know now. So the perception of high schoolers and young adults is that the world is really grim and dark and scary. And they have to keep up with everybody in a sense where, as adults now, we all probably struggle. There's that whole saying, keeping up with the Joneses. Well, the internet has quadrupled that. The internet, or social media in particular, is so fake. I know I'm guilty. I post all the happy things because I don't want to be a downer and post my really dark, hard days. I don't want to post where I'm sobbing on my floor because I can't seem to get my shit together. But imagine that for our children. They are now growing up very differently than where we are growing up. Or maybe you are actually a parent, because now I am older. I'm getting to be like middle-aged. I'm not like that super young mom anymore, but you may have had a phone most of your life. And now we are raising children in this world where they're growing up so much faster. And what I mean by that is the minute they have access to the internet, the minute they're being handed a phone, whether that's to play games or take photos, the whole world is opening up to them. And a lot of the really dark things are opening up to them at a really young age. Kids know more, are experiencing more. They're having to grow up so much faster, in the sense of it's way easier, now for them to get any kind of information and quickly. So as a parent, if you are a parent of a little one from 0 to 5, this is why I wanted to talk about it. Yes, technology is growing and developing, and now we have AI, and we can't stop it. There's no way we can stop technology. It is far beyond us at this point. But what I think that we can start doing, and I think the conversation we need to start having, if you have little ones, is really setting up strict guidelines around technology. And I did that in my home when I was raising my kids. So, like video games, I have 3 boys and a daughter. So they loved video games. And I would set timers. Technology, TV time was only a set time during the day. But when they were 10, I had 4 kids. So 3 were like on different competitive soccer teams. Like, they started doing a lot more sports. They were at friends' houses. And again, navigating this new technology, these new phones on the internet, there wasn't a lot of data yet of the damage that it's truly doing. So my oldest got his first phone at 10, and then actually they all followed after that. And my ex-husband and I were also going through a divorce a couple years later. So then there's the whole guilt and divorce and 2-parent home and trying to communicate with the 2-parent home. And all of that, I just regret. I regret not working harder at protecting my kids from the internet and this high social media. And again, we only know what we know at that time. And that's why talking to my daughter, she's almost 18, and just a matter of, actually in 2 months, she'll be 18. She's very intuitive. She's very wise. She's very deep. She just feels a lot of things. And to hear her verbalize and say how much everybody, young people, are struggling, I felt as though I wanted to share with you. Because if you are raising little ones right now, maybe you even have a preschool or a childcare center, and you watch TV every single day, or you have computer times or whatever, iPads, I would say stop. Honestly, I think that we are harming our children by all this technology, because as adults, think of our own lives and the own stress and anxiety and depression that we have in our own lives. And how much does that have to do with social media? If you really think about it. And with young people, they have all these crazy apps. Like, they can judge each other and give each other a score by numbers. There's, Snapchat, where things disappear. They text things and they disappear. So many people can hide behind a keyboard and say horrible things through these apps about each other. And another thing is, when we were younger, there were birthday parties and kids got together. Like, when I was a kid, I was a teenager, I had 3 friends that I would hang out with all the time. And we didn't have Facebook or Instagram or Actually, Snapchat is what all these kids use. We don't have that. And Snapchat is literally taking a photo every second of their day and posting it. And now you have this, oh, I wasn't invited here, or wait, I thought she was my friend, I'm not there. It's just this weird divide it's created in a way. And so I think we really need to have this conversation if you're raising little ones, I think we need to set parameters, is what I'm trying to say. I want to encourage you to start really thinking about technology, social media, and how you're going to raise your children in this high-tech world. Because I don't want you to make the mistakes that my generation of parents have made. And you may disagree with me, and I'll say that I've made, because I didn't know the consequences and I didn't know how much anxiety it would provoke. So knowing what I know now, I just want to help you choose a different path. And I'm talking about even technology as, I'll go to a restaurant with my family and I'll see little ones watching a TV show at the restaurant table. And this is where I may start offending, and I'm sorry. I think it's okay to teach our little ones how to sit at a dining room table and to have a conversation with them. I think it's important for that. I think it's important at table time in general. Like my kids and I, we have a rule. Sometimes we don't do great at it, but mostly we do really good. Mostly we do really good. Phones aren't allowed at the family dining room table or during a meal. Phones should go down. TVs should go down. Are we plopping our little babies in front of a TV? Are we handing them iPads for long periods to play games? Because what that's doing is, I almost get a little emotional, creating this individual world that's not bonding. Like humans, we're meant to bond. We're meant to sit across from each other and have conversations. We're meant to hug and hold hands and converse with each other. But what's happening? Look around. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's in their own individual world. Everybody's looking at social media and doubting themselves and saying, well, that person has it all together. Why can't I have it all together? People are going on social media to other people's pages and just saying rude comments because they feel like they can say anything to anybody. I don't think it's good for our society. And so how do you, as a mama or as an early childhood educator working with little ones, prevent the anxiety, the depression as they grow older in this very individualized world, this very closed off society that we are creating with our phones and our AirPods? How do we get our kids to not be so addicted to technology, to social media, when we all are addicted to our phones? How do we do that? I think we need to get our kids outside more. We need to be putting down our phones as the adult, turning off the TV when we're little, and we need to be engaging again in family time, talking, even if they're little. Go on a walk, go out on a nature walk, go on a drive. I don't know how to solve this problem, but I just wanted to share my daughter's really vulnerable talk that she had with me about technology, about social media. And if we really kind of start waking up and looking around, suicide rates, I mean, our young people today are struggling. And teenage years, early adult years have always been hard. I just think there's a new element. So as you're raising your children, I just want to share with you, my daughter had a phone from 10 on. Most of my kids all had a phone from 10 on, and it's causing damage. It's causing damage. I think it's probably causing damage as us as grownups with anxiety, depression, a sense of not maybe being fulfilled But how do we combat that? I know in my schools, I don't want a TV in a classroom. Sometimes we put a TV, and if it's like multiple rainy days, they might get one little TV show, but there should be no TVs. I don't like TVs in a classroom. Kids should be outside in nature, and not just kids, us too. It's so good. I started really walking in September regularly, moving my body and going outside. And it's changed so much of my whole makeup, like my mind, just everything, soul, mind, body, and soul. It's really helped me in so many ways. And like I said, this other podcast a few weeks ago is where are the examples? So social media and kids are getting phones younger and younger. They are getting handed iPads younger and younger. They are sitting at dinner tables with technology in front of them younger and younger. I believe there's consequences to that. And I'm seeing it now in my early adult children. They're voicing it. So if we know that they're struggling as junior hires, high schoolers, and young adults, what I'm trying to encourage you to do as young parents, if you are a parent of young little ones, I hope that you take this seriously and be very mindful of technology in your home and the amount of information our little kids can get that they should not have for years to come is incredible. It truly is. Like the things my daughter has, the things our children see now and know because of the internet, because how easily accessed it is, I do not think it is a benefit in any way. So as you move through parenting, and we're all on our journey, I just ask you to be mindful of technology and the consequences. All of us. Social media is fake. Social media is fake. I'm going to say it again. It's fake. As adults, we understand that way more than little kids. And as soon as you give them a phone, it's just, they can get on Snapchat and Instagram, like all these things that kids should not have, in my opinion. Kids should be getting messy and outside. And I think our society is just becoming so closed off to one another. I think I'm encouraging guys to flip the script. I think that's my goal of this is if you have little ones, this next generation that you're raising, flip the script. We've got to turn this around because someone's got to. Technology is going to keep on going, but we've got to realize that we can step away from it. Maybe there's one day a week we step away from it. I don't know. That it cannot be our full life and it cannot be our knowing and our self-esteem. Social media can't. The amount of likes we get on a post should not be a mirror of who we are because that is fake. And that is what our kids are living with. The amount of likes they get on a post or the party they weren't invited to or the picture and the snap that they weren't included on. They're struggling. Our young adults, our teenagers are struggling. So I think we have to flip the script with the next generation that's coming. It makes me think, I think that even as our own phone time, maybe it's time for us to start putting it away one day a week or turning it off for a few hours at night so we can be present with our family. This thing I'm holding my iPhone. It's so amazing in so many ways, right? Like it's so amazing in so many ways, but it has caused a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of self-worthlessness, a lot of feelings of I'm a failure because of a fake world that we've all created through social media, myself included. I think it's time for us to put these phones down, especially with our little ones, put the iPads down and hug and talk and be in community, be outside in nature, go back to how it used to be a long time ago when we're outside way more. I think that's going to serve our children much better. Nature, water, trees, animals, rather than sitting down by themselves on a device that only creates segregation, individualism. Like, let's break free from that. Just a really interesting topic. Thank you for listening this week. I hope it made us all kind of think. As I'm talking, I'm thinking, we are the examples, and I don't want your children that you're raising, your little ones, to grow up with so much anxiety and depression. I want to change that. Wishing you guys just all a really beautiful week. Remember to wish it, dream it, do it. Visit me at thelovingstartway.com. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hear this podcast. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next episode. For more information on how to work with me, Miss Amber, visit me at thelovingstartway.com or follow me on Insta at thelovingstartway.